the show begin. Next generation for the win. We're going all in. All together now, let's begin. Let the show begin.
Good morning. Well, firstly, what a huge honor to have this opportunity to share the stage. I remember when Soo-Hoon mentioned or asked me, do you think this would be a good idea? I said, absolutely, and there's nobody I'd rather share the stage with. So thank you very much for joining me.
So happy to be up here with Laura, and we knew each other for, I think, ages, right? Yeah.
A long time, but the first time we shared a stage together was 2 years ago, this very stage.
Yeah.
So it's actually our anniversary.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, nice.
And, well, okay, I know, we're not talking about that, but it was on sustainability, and that's one of my hot topics.
It is, and we'll get to that, I think, as we discuss our relationship in the industry and obviously our friendship here. Firstly, I think, Peng Sum, let me congratulate you on, I was just reading all of the achievements, 7 new hotels this year, all around the world, including London, Bangkok, Jakarta, Tokyo, and including the latest award just this week for the world's best, newest skyscraper for Pan Pacific Singapore. So huge congratulations for that one.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm really thankful, for that, especially that last award, the World's Best Skyscraper Award. Sorry for the marketing, but it's a beautiful property. If you've not seen it, come and see it. It's at Claymore Orchard Road. Yeah. And I've got a wonderful team. And so we've been chugging along and growing the brand quite a bit this year. Busy, but good busy.
Yeah, you also won TTG's Best Regional Chain.
Absolutely.
And also Influential Brand's Top CEO. So, I mean, I'm not just sharing the stage with anybody here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, I think, we've heard a lot, even just now, Soo-Hoon and Michael were sharing about the direct, indirect challenge. It's an ongoing discussion. We saw a lot of it yesterday. We heard from the lovely ladies at Ascot talking about the direct approach. We also heard the debate between Tim and also Michael on are OTAs going to die or not? And I'm happy to see that Tim won his first debate, apparently. So thanks for that, Tim. The OTAs will not die. But I think one of the things I want to share before we get into this big elephant and how we feel about this being a well-recognized chain and obviously a large OTA, that we did some research because a lot of our chain partners would say to us, we're paying you commission for what? You keep bringing us customers, yes, but we pay you a lot to do that. So we did some research to understand how many of our customers book the same property twice on our platform. And I don't know if anybody can take a guess at what that number is. I can't see out into the audience, so. 10%? Anybody else got any other numbers that would guess how many people would book twice the same property on a platform? On booking. Thank you. 10%. Anybody else? Oh, shy audience this morning. The actual answer is 2%. 2% only of travelers that come to booking book the same property twice. So with that in mind, why do you think so many of our chains, including yourself, would prefer to have a book direct strategy?
Well, first of all, it's easy for Booking.com to say this because, on a given year, you get about $21.3 billion US of revenue. So that 2% is a drop in the ocean. But hotels, for instance, all right, if you aggregate all the online travel agent bookings, it can amount to almost like 30-40% of the entire segment. And guess what? It's as much as 15,000 to 20,000 of room nights. Now, that's a lot of money. And, it's... now, we're not against OTA charging commission, right? We're not. Hoteliers, we're not. Just lower the rates, and we'll live happily ever after, right? It's just too high. But it's not only the commissions. I think... Just now, Jason was talking about experience, talking about memories. And I think that's so important. Hotels really want to go direct booking because we want to keep our loyal customers. Now, again, unless Booking.com wants to share, we're open. Those that go through OTA, we don't get that database. Now, direct booking, besides not being exposed to high commissions, we get to keep our database. We get to talk to our customers. We get to enhance their experience. You know, an example is we found out that in our loyalty program, okay, well, you get to silver and gold, but the moment you get your loyal members into platinum and titanium, which is our discovery loyalty program, and the red discovery, suddenly we find that their repeat stays goes up from 30 to 40 to 50%. And that's only because we engage them. We have the database, we touch base with them, we engage them. So it's really important and to have your database and work at your database and increase that experience. All right.
Yeah.
And one last thing also is this: many people think that F&B is expensive and rooms. I totally agree, but F&B, restaurants and bars, create that kind of special experience for the loyal guests. If you remember his birthday, you remember his favorite drink, small little things makes memorable experience. And guess what? When we work that, they'll come back. So, Laura, share your database and lower your commission. Thank you very much.
If only it was so easy. But I think it's very interesting because you say that we don't share our database, but once the customer comes to you, they're all yours, right? I mean, they're your guests, you have all the data, you see them.
That's true, Laura. And that's why, we go a long ways back and it's great because it's true. We find that, especially the young, the millennials, the Gen Zs, they would definitely book through OTAs. I mean, I think they're more adept at the internet and definitely. So OTAs won't die. And we also think that if you're first or second or third time, in a different country, and you really want that whole spectrum of comparison
and
and then reviews and all that. So yes, we give that. Laura, you're right. The moment they come into our hotels, it's up to us to retain them as our loyal customers. So we do exist. And we do coexist. And I think it's a great synergy. It's just that, maybe sometimes these hotels don't really get a good job in signing up loyal members, then it is our fault. Yeah. But, we can coexist. Not much of a face-off, is it?
And no need to lower the commissions then. And on that, actually, just maybe we can stay on it just for a second, because there is this perception that it's expensive to work with OTAs. We also looked at our individual customer base, so where are we bringing travelers from? And we've got over 180 country locations that are booking on our platform. How do you think a chain, I'm not just specifically talking about Pan Pacific, even with all your awards, how do you reach 180 countries?
Yeah,
it's a very expensive marketing.
It is, and give you that. I think the amount of money that Booking.com and a lot of OTAs spend on marketing, it's just amazing, right? So you guys are really, really good at it, and that's why you reach those countries, you bring them over, and we'll take over from there.
Exactly. The delight happens definitely when they get to you.
Yes. But I tell you, OTAs too have their book direct programs, right? And you got the Genius, you got the Preferred Partners program, and anyway, half the time the hotels pay for that, right? So and they're very, very successful, So what's your direct booking experience like?
Yeah, it's very interesting because we do obviously want travelers direct the same way that you do. We also want to lower our marketing costs, but we also understand without the search engines and without all the different meta sites, we also can't do it. So we know we pay a lot. But Genius actually is an interesting one. You say it's funded by the properties themselves, and it really started out as a marketing tool. It's really about price. We know customers are price sensitive, they have a big range, so we want to make sure that the right price is displayed. And then over time we realized actually there's a lot that we can do with these customers that travel a lot, because then we realized Genius customers are the frequent travelers, and then they bring significant value to our partners, because they typically are the ones that stay longer, potentially pay more, and don't cancel as much. So then we realized actually there's a huge value in that. And so we started to offer more and more things to our Genius customers, like free taxi from the airport, not at your cost, at our cost, but all the other different benefits. And we also were asked by our hotel partners to offer more than just a discount. Right? How do we yield better? So how do we offer room upgrades when we have the space and the capacity? So we wanted the Genius program to be a bit more, but understand, yeah, everybody wants to reduce their overall marketing costs. We're the same in this one, for sure.
I think that one we're the same. And as a testimony, we've benefited a lot from the Genius program. I think the number of bookings coming through that is important. It's just that we get the free breakfast, we get a free upgrade, we get the free late checkouts. But thank you.
You have the right customer. Maybe we can just touch a bit on price. We just talked about price sensitivity, and it was a hot topic, obviously, with the low-cost airline just now discussion. Price sensitivity in this region seems to be more than anywhere. And with the amount of different channels there are available now for hotel to distribute, how do you keep control of that price when it's really out there?
Yeah, I think price strategy is really important. I go back to the age-old marketing traditional ways, and that is every single customer doesn't come from one segment. And I think, for our group, we really concentrate on different market segments. And we look at the trending, we look at the history. Every customer from different segments buy differently, is reached differently, pays differently. All right, and that's the idea of the whole pricing strategy is if we go after the corporates, they behave differently. We go after the OTAs or book direct. We go after the wholesalers. We go after the meetings and groups. They all behave differently. And if we get those pricing based on the segmentation, we won't cannibalize on each other. All right, and of course, right now. Of course, everyone's moving into dynamic pricing based on bar rates, and I think that also helps, I just give an example. Many corporate companies still don't want to go to dynamic pricing. And an example, if the price is higher than the OTAs, it's just driving the corporates into OTAs, right? So every segment has a different reach, has a different price range, and behaves differently. And so we just go on that. That's how we do it.
So you just understand you have to be different and cater accordingly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Maybe we can go on to a slightly lighter topic than marketing strategies, pricing strategies, and how to lower costs. Sustainability, you touched on it at the beginning, and obviously the Pan Pacific Orchard has just won awards for exactly this. And I know that you personally, professionally, have a great passion for it, champion it. It's one of the reasons I admire you so much and follow what you're doing. But how far do you take it? I know you take it very much into your organization. I think you lead by example and you steer accordingly. How much would you take that externally when it comes to commercial way-ups? Do you partner only with partners that abide by your values, or at some point is there this balance between commercial and
Yeah,
values?
it is a balance, isn't it? Because I used to crusade this quite so often. I says, sustainability is not cheap. All right. I mean, a lot of people we said, okay, we are green. We reduce plastic straws. We reduce the number of plastic mineral water bottles. Yeah, that's just one little bit of it. I mean, example is if you put in a low emissivity double glazed glass, that costs us millions of dollars. And all the guesses is, you got a window, right? But sustainability is not cheap, but we are committed to that, and we will do it. We will go, and when we talk about sustainability, invariably so, what we'll see is that we get a lot of partners who believe in what we do, and they'll come along. And that's a bit an easier way to do business with when they have the same mindset.
Yes.
Example, Laura, Booking.com, so proud because, in your whole search engine, you do recognize green hotels. You do even have your own certification. Right now, I hear that you're open to even third-party certification of third-party global certification to recognize green hotels, right? And every year you do a survey. 33,000 respondents, 35 countries, and they tell you last year that 76% of the respondents say they want to travel responsibly, right? My biggest question to OTA and Booking.com is, how many of that 76% really book a green hotel? Do you have facts for that?
Yeah, it's a good question. Maybe I can just correct you slightly. And actually came up yesterday, it was mentioned that Booking dropped their sustainability program, which is not true. I just want to set the record a little straight there. But we launched our travel sustainable program a number of years ago, and we were badging properties. Due to EU regulation, we had to make some adjustments. So now we focus purely on third-party certifications. It's recognized more worldwide. Of which obviously Pan Pacific Group have them in all properties. But so we've been tracking very closely what travelers want and understanding, and that's how the program even started. We want to give opportunity and choice to travelers who want to travel within their own values. So we continue to drive and educate and help properties who started their journey. I mean, you guys are very far along in educating and helping inspire others. We want to try and help to do that too. What the report showed this year, interestingly, is for the first time there was a drop in the number of travelers who think about sustainability when booking. But my hypothesis on this is that it's become such an expectation that it's no longer, I don't need to consciously think about it as much, or I shouldn't have to. It's a bit like, things in our phones now. It's just become part of an expectation. And once it's expected, there's no going back. So that's my hypothesis. But certainly we still see the filters being used, the search being looked at. And then there was this whole thing, you've just said it's expensive to be sustainable. Do travelers pay more for it? And again, the expectation is that they shouldn't have to. So I know that in many cases, the properties bear the brunt of that. But overall, it's good for everybody. And so we hope that we continue to find give the travelers the right choice, and that you continue to provide that. So.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Laura, that it's become, this is the way, and it's no longer a big deal, right? And everyone's mind is like, we should be sustainable, we should be environmentally friendly. So it's become a norm, yeah. And in a way, how you have moved away from your own certification into a global certification, GSTC, Green Globe. I mean, they're recognized worldwide, right? So, and then that probably is much easier to identify a green hotel, and people would choose it naturally as well.
Yeah, and we want to make it available to all because some of the larger chains can invest and some of the smaller ones have a harder time. So we want to make sure that also we support those that are starting their journey. So this is an area where I think also we can help a lot each other and where our friends come more in also than our foes. And I think we are out of time. I have many more things that I think we could debate and talk about, but we are out of time. But I think the outcome is we need each other. We want to work together. And ultimately, friends, foes, or fancy partners. I think we'll go with fancy partners. What do you think?
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Fancy partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
They're ready now. Let the show begin. Next generation for the win. We're going all in. Take center stage now. Let's begin. Let the show